I think the main focus that we put on is to make sure that risk is coming from the expected sources of return. So when we go in and we build our capital market assumptions, we make certain assumptions about what each asset class will give us. As we move through time, it is important that we understand where that return is coming from. By doing that, we break that return down into risk factors and say, okay, here are the risk factors that drove the return, here are the volatility of those risk factors, and then periodically we will go in and evaluate both the risk sources, the volatility of the risk, and then how all those risks together brought us the return of the asset class. Then from the asset class, we build up again into the total portfolio. We live in an environment where everything is being blown up when something happens. And by that I mean it gets a lot of publicity. While it feels like a main event, over the long term, it could have very little effect on the overall performance of our portfolio as it kind of evens out. So I think we always keep a 15-year return perspective front and center when we communicate with our board, so that we don't lose track of what is the long-term track record of our portfolio, and also we are in this for the long term and should have expectations that there will be bumps as we move along, but we always circle back on it and say, hey, look, we have been doing this for a long time, this is our long-term investment process, and shouldn't lose focus on that. In regards to investment risk, we are always interested in new methods of looking at really an old concept. And I feel that by having a broad group giving input in on the same topic, there's ways that you can present the risk, there's a way you can measure it that has worked in certain situations. So it's very good to have a working group that kind of does that for you, so you don't have to go through and test all of them yourself.